Next, match highlights and the latest news on the NBA Jam session of basketball.
NBA Jam Session is sponsored by Nike.
The killer crossover. Time out.
Like my hat. 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Jam.
Did someone say jam session?
Get it in a traveling violation. 2. Yes. Showtime.
Coming up this week on NBA Jam Session, Chicago take on Phoenix at the arena. There's a magic penny in Orlando. And the top 10 plays of the week. I'm Alton Burton. Welcome to NBA Jam Session. You know, basketball is one of the fastest team games around. And even though you may have a superstar on your side, you have to be aware of those fast breaks from the opposition. The Orlando Magic may have the Shaq man in the middle leading the attack for them, but they also have a young, very bright guard who's holding court, Anthony Hardaway.
Though he's just a rookie, Anthony Hardaway's gaining worldwide recognition.
We're exchange students from the United States, and we're trying to see if people know about the NBA. You ever heard of the NBA? You ever heard of the Orlando Magic? You ever heard of Shaquille O'Neal? Anthony Hardaway?
At just 21 years old, there's not a whole lot this confident rookie can't do.
I can do 5 things on the floor. I can rebound, I can score, I can block shots, I can steal the ball, and I can give assists.
40 games into his pro career, should be in his senior year at Memphis State. Anthony Hardaway may be the most complete player in the league.
Anthony Hardaway who puts it home.
A 6'7" ball handler. This Magic star has already evoked comparisons to other greats, particularly Magic himself.
I'm flattered for being even thought of as a player like Magic Johnson, who was so great to the game. But I think I'm trying to make my own identity here. You know, I'm trying to make a new era, you know, here right now, you know, as a rookie, to say kids are going to be looking like Anthony Hardaway instead of me looking like Magic Johnson.
Number 1, Anthony Hardaway.
A constant triple-double threat. Hardaway plays the point, helping to lead the way with 6 assists per game, much to his team's delight.
And the Magic run the other way. Good pass by Hardaway. Anderson hits it and gets fouled.
That's a big pass by Hardaway.
Hardaway with no-look dish was a dunk for Shaq. Set him up nicely.
Coming down on the break, all I need is a half inch. And it's so easy with Shaquille because he gets so much position and holds one arm up. He just pass the ball up in the air and he'll go get it. But with everybody else, all I need is like an inch or a half inch, and I'll try to give him the ball.
The hardest piece to add to your team after the center position, we all feel, is the point guard position. And we just felt that in looking at Anthony Hardaway and in really evaluating him coming into this year's draft, that he had what it takes to be not only a good point guard, but possibly a great point guard in the years to come.
Everybody's trying to pigeonhole Anthony Hardaway. Is he a point guard? Is he a 2 guard? Is he a small forward? He's a basketball player. He do everything out on the basketball floor.
Nicknamed Penny, Hardaway hopes his sweet moves will help the Magic cash in and make their first ever playoff appearance.
3 against 2 to Anthony Hardaway, who puts it home, counted at 1.
Oh, what a play by Hardaway. Oh.
This team was already good without me. I only could make it better. And it was up to me to know what to do once I came here. You know, learn my role, know who to get the ball to, and just play hard, and that's what I did.
Anthony Hardaway, a name you won't soon forget.
Something else you won't forget in a hurry was last year's playoffs between the Chicago Bulls and Charles Barkley's Phoenix Suns. Our game of the week promises just as much excitement as the Bulls return to Phoenix for a rerun of the 1993 playoffs. Let's go straight to America West Arena and see if the Suns can exact revenge over last season's major disappointment.
The Phoenix Suns lead the Chicago Bulls by 2 points. Final seconds. Paxson for 3. The Bulls' 3 consecutive NBA titles if he makes it. A miss. They play Game 7. One shot to puncture the Suns' dreams. Dreams that became real with the signing of a superstar. And Sir Charles delivered with fire and swagger, leading Phoenix to the NBA's best record. MVP confirmation. With the Suns' cast of all-stars, a champions mix, oh, just that one shot away. Paxson's winning 3 still burns indelibly in Phoenix's memory. Their championship hopes were eclipsed. Today, the Suns welcome back Paxson and the champions from Chicago to the Valley of the Sun. It's the Chicago Bulls versus the Phoenix Suns in our Game of the Week.
For Chicago, Pete Myers and B.J. Armstrong are the guards. Bill Cartwright is holding the middle, while up front Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen are leading the attack. A familiar face on the sidelines is coach for the defending world champions, Phil Jackson. In the backcourt for Phoenix, Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley are starting as guards. Oliver Middle mans the middle, while the red-hot Cedric Ceballos and AC Green start as forwards. Paul Westphal is the Suns' coach, hoping to steer his team to another Western Conference title. The rematch of last year's finals begins with the Bulls' Scottie Pippen streaking up court to find B.J. Armstrong for the first points of the game. Phoenix replies through Dan Marley driving past Pete Myers for the lefty jam that is intended to send an early warning to the Chicago Bulls. Big Oliver Miller outlets to Cedric Ceballos, who finds Dan Marley for the three-pointer. The Suns keep up the pressure as AC Green dribbles the length of the court and dishes to Miller for the jam, giving the Suns a demanding 16-6 lead in the first quarter. Phil Jackson is not amused. The Bulls try a comeback as Armstrong fakes Marley but misses the shot. Grant takes the rebound, gives it to Pippen. Myers takes up the running in the lane and threads a pass to Horace Grant for the slam. The Bulls continue to apply the pressure. Pippen rebounds and then goes coast to coast for a spectacular driving layup high off the glass. Chicago on the run as Kerr finds John Paxson, who nails the jump shot. With 10 seconds remaining on the clock, Kevin Johnson drives between the Bulls' defense, scores, and is fouled. The Phoenix Suns take a 32-19 lead at the end of the quarter. In the second period, rookie Tony Kukoc drives and floats a left hook in the lane. Kukoc then inbounds to Steve Kerr, who shoots over Joe Klein to draw the foul. The Bulls are back within striking distance. Coach Westphal seems a little worried, but Elliot Perry responds to the pressure, forcing his way in the paint and then finding Marley for another three. Scottie Pippen is determined to run the show as he finds Kerr, who launches a three to cut the Suns' lead to 41-38. The Suns counter with ball movement of their own as Ceballos fakes Williams, goes behind the back to Perry, who drains the open jumper to maintain the lead. Still trailing, Steve Kerr shoots but misses the jumper, but Grant rebounds and scores a putback to stay within 5. KJ tries to counter but misses badly. Mark West is there to clean up, rebounds, and slams it home. The Bulls defense is starting to cause some havoc as Ceballos is forced into a jumper and misses. Green saves it. BJ picks it off, outlets to Pippen, who outsprints everyone for the monster slam to bring the Bulls to within one, 51-50 at halftime. We join the match with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The Bulls leading 63-59. Their commentators are Dick Enberg and Steve Jones.
Cartwright against West. West does the defensive job. Ceballos to Perry. Great pass.
Perry wanted the two. Kevin Johnson cheers the effort, but you'll see when they come inside to Cartwright and he cannot overpower Mark West. West is equally as strong. That turns Perry loose, and he's thinking Ceballos all the way. Armstrong said, yeah, pass off, yeah.
Perry at the line. 63-60 is KJ. He liked that. Ceballos out. Johnson returns.
So they get smaller. Dan Marley will go up front and play. They lose the offensive rebounding of Ceballos, but after a quick early start, Ceballos has been held in check by the Chicago Bulls this afternoon.
Well, Perry's been perfect. 3 for 3 from outside and hit both free throws. A one-point game, or two-point game. 63-61 with 4:27 left in the third. Wennington to Pippen.
5 on the clock.
Paxson. Oh, another dagger. John Paxson into Phoenix.
You know what they're saying? Do you do that in any other building but this one? We have seen 2 buzzer beaters by Paxson. That still brings back the 6th game of the championship for all of those here in America West Arena.
Marley couldn't get around Pippen. Perry. Now Marley open for 3 and hits it at the buzzer. 15 for Marley, 4 trays hit by the former Central Michigan star.
Again, Marley got a chance to get set, and when he's in that position, his chances go up dramatically.
Knocked away by KJ.
There's 2:37 left on the clock, and the Bulls are still leading by 2.
66-64. KJ to Mark West, and West ties it at 66.
First assist of this afternoon for Kevin Johnson.
Good coach back in. Gary Hawking Armstrong. Paxson, another 3. John Paxson, John Macbeth Paxson has 10 points.
There are some arenas that players like better than others, and this is obviously one that Paxson likes to shoot in. He has been deadly here this afternoon, and you look at the numbers he's had earlier, he's been struggling.
A.C. Green muscles inside and draws the foul from Kukoc, his 4th.
The penetration and the quick pass from Tony Kukoc set up John Paxson. What do you tell a player is don't leave a shooter, and you can see teammate Steve Kerr cheering.
Kerr, another 3-point star, and of course Phoenix with one of its outside shooters, Danny Ainge, still trying to recover from an ankle injury. A.C. Green makes it 69-67, and Kerr returns.
One of the biggest differences in the NBA game is the fact that more and more coaches are setting things up for three-point shots, trying to spread the floor, get better spacing, and the Chicago Bulls are one of the best teams in the NBA in terms of spacing their people so that they can get scoring opportunities.
10 rebounds for Pippen now to lead Chicago. Kukoc left open. A.C. Green.
Perry and Johnson are playing together, and this is kind of an unusual mix. Both have to have the ball. We'll see how that works out for them. Kevin looking for some kind of pass inside.
A.C. Green from KJ ties it at 69. 10 for Green.
Good ball movement, good player cut by A.C. Green to get the score.
Scottie Pippen. Elliott Perry climbing high. On the run to KJ. Phoenix leads 71-69. 15 for Johnson. Elliott Perry on the hold, his first foul. 37 seconds left in the third quarter. Pippen turned down the three. Fans wanted to travel. Kukoc, what a nice pass to Pippen at 6'10". Kukoc certainly sees the floor well.
And there was some good patience by Pippen and the Chicago Bulls to finally end up with something over the rim. They're going to double on Kevin Johnson.
Final seconds of the third quarter, and Kevin Johnson, speed burner, 17 for him to lead Phoenix. Kukoc, travel is the call. That translates in all languages.
You're still reading lips. But he comes in and he's going to make a spin, and Kevin Johnson just strips him of the ball. It was a good defensive play. Kukoc frustrated this afternoon.
Perry rattles out a frenetic third in Phoenix. The Suns losing the lead and then reclaiming it 73-71 with Kevin Johnson, his first start in over a month.
Join us after the break to see if Chicago can close the gap. We're back in Phoenix for the start of the fourth quarter. The Suns leading Chicago by 73-71.
Now, Sabalos is back on the floor, and he's been shut down. They want to try to spring him, and they want to try to keep Kevin Johnson going. Let's see if Kevin Johnson can continue to get by Steve Kerr.
Mark West, blocked by Kukoc.
West was really not on balance when he tried to go back up with that one, so that was a good play for Kukoc to make. Wide open Kukoc.
Marley got a piece of it. .74-71. Marley was 17.
That's the adjustment that Kukoc has to make. Being hit and being able to control his body and the basketball when there's some physical pressure.
9-2 Phoenix run. Grant. Jump hook. And Horace Grant has 16. Johnson missing his last two outside jumpers.
With Kerr and Paxson, and if their Bulls are going to break, they're going to have to pass the ball. They don't have a lot of foot speed, neither one of those. Kukoc trying to overpower Marley.
Marley knocked it away, 7 on the shot clock. Grant with 5. Rebound West. Here come the Suns leading by 2. KJ to Perry. Beautiful pass and conversion by Perry. Team by 4. Phoenix playing a more intensive defensive style now.
They're making them work against the clock. Grant doesn't know how much time is left. Lets it go.
Rebound Sabalas. Kevin Johnson went down again. He's all right.
Got a mismatch here with Kevin Johnson and Kukoc. Johnson can get to the rim. We'll see what Sabalas does on the other side.
19 for KJ, and Barkley and Phoenix like what they see. Phoenix as a trade-off offensive shows by quarter, apparently. Phoenix had the first quarter, the Bulls the second and third, and then the Suns rallying here in the fourth.
Marley trying to beat Scott Williams off the dribble. Williams showing he can move his feet for a big guy, stayed with him. Shot.
Uh-oh. They were running out of time, and Perry forced the pass. Kerr. Good move by Kerr. Looked off Marley. 10 points for Steve Kerr off the bench. Jackson and Kerr have kept Chicago in the game in many respects with their shooting. 10 and 10 for the two veterans.
Now they've done extremely well. They've given Phil Jackson a shot in the arm when B.J. Armstrong has had an off day. Kevin Johnson lost control of the basketball.
Jamming his way.
Now you'll see Scottie Pippen is wide open. Please, somebody pass me the ball. And out of it, they get good defensive pressure. There was 2 on the shot clock when Steve Kerr stepped in and going to use his body to protect the ball against Dan Marley to get the score.
Scott Williams, B.J. Armstrong, and Steve Kerr in the backcourt with Grant and Pippen. Ooh, Pippen almost lost it. 7 on the shot clock. Armstrong.
Oh, that's great movement without the ball. They get an interior pass, and right to the hoop goes Armstrong. Nobody comes with them, and he gets a score.
Later in the fourth, Chicago's Scott Williams has cut the Suns' lead to just 1.
Kevin Johnson.
Doesn't hit. Sabalas. Oh, what a rebound follow for Sabalas. 81-78. Phoenix by 3. That's his first points of the fourth quarter. He's only scored 6 since the opening period. Grant trying to keep it alive, but Oliver Miller collects for Phoenix. 7 rebounds for Big O. Sabalas. And they're going to call him for running into Pippen. His second.
It's important that you stay under control. You can see on this effort, Sabalos is under control, following the flat of the ball all the way to get the score. This time out of control, trying to squeeze a pass into A.C. Green and a turnover.
3:45 left. Chicago trails by 3. Pippen over Marley. 81-80 Phoenix. 24 for Scottie Pippen. He came back off that foot injury in the first game against Phoenix and Chicago and whipped in 29 when they thought, well, we just play a little bit. Sabalas.
We rejoin the game with just over 2 minutes left on the clock and tension running high. The Suns' Kevin Johnson has been fouled and has just missed his first free throw. He's about to attempt his second.
See some of the pox marks on Kevin Johnson's face and body. He really was attacked. 1 out of 2 for him, 84-80. 2:08 to go. 20 points leads Phoenix for KJ. Kerr with a quick pop. A 2-pointer. The Bulls are right up there with the NBA elite again this year, despite Michael Jordan's retirement. People like Kerr and Paxson and Weddington off the bench to deliver. Scott Williams with a rebound. He's returning from injury, and here come the Bulls.
A quick jump shot by Sabalas turned the Bulls loose. Let's see if they can tie the score with this possession.
Into the main man, Pippen. Marley. 1:22 to go.
Trying to run a two-man game with Ceballos and Kevin Johnson. They force him to pick the ball up. Shot clock at 5.
Oh my! Kevin Johnson with a tough inside move jams his way for a critical basket. A big trip for Chicago.
Still plenty of time for Chicago to get back in this game. Let's see how they execute. Scott Williams right at the rim.
Knocked away by Ceballos, but a foul. And
anytime a player gets in this deep, you have players reaching in and reacting. That time Ceballos thought he got all the ball, but the official said no. We'll see how Williams does at the line under the gun.
86-83 Phoenix. Williams' first free throws of the season are in this game. He's now 2 for 3. Cooley drops in a deuce, and Phoenix's lead is 2.
Third team down and pressured Kevin Johnson, wanting to make them take more time off the clock before they get into the set. They're going to come back with the same two-man play. Now they want to get the ball to Kevin Johnson, but Oliver Miller sees Ceballos.
Oh, beautiful block by Grant, but they're going to call that goaltending. Goaltending on Grant, 88-84. 18 points for Ceballos.
Oliver Miller, a very good passing center. The ball in the middle, and again, Barkley cheering on the sideline.
Marley and a foul. They tried to strip Scottie Pippen. Only his first foul in the penalty, so Pippen will shoot a couple. Pippen's 25th point. Cuts the Phoenix lead to 3. Just push it, says Westfall. Don't foul is the other piece of information.
They're going to have the ball, and they want to run away from the Bulls because they can run out the clock and win the game with this 2-point advantage. The Bulls are going to try for a steal, and if they don't get it, a foul.
Paxson with the foul. And this is starting to develop into, well, the way we started today, with a reflection on Game 6 of the playoffs with Phoenix leading by 2. Oh, yeah! Pippen comes over and just gives him another little jaw. Yeah, he said, that's it. I got you now. I got your mind working.
And you see, this is prior to it, and Marley trying to stay in between and say, hey, just get up there, do your routine, shoot it. Ceballos missed the first. Grant and Pippen came over and said hello.
Whoa, rattles in. So the Phoenix lead is 3, and Pippen gives Ceballos a little extra going away. Blocked by Miller. Grant, Paxson, Kerr. Oh, my. Kevin Johnson attacked Kerr. A flagrant foul has to be the call.
It is. It's 2 and on the side, and that couldn't be anything but that call, and the worst play for the Phoenix Suns at that time. They got into a scramble situation, and Chicago finally got possession of the ball back. Kerr went up trying to launch a 3. And Kevin Johnson just jerked him off the shot.
Kerr trying to put all the pieces back together. Look at this hit.
Well, Kevin knows, and see right there, he's not making a play on the ball at all, and that's why you get the flagrant foul.
Unless the ball has a lot of blonde hair on it.
And they're saying, no, there's no timeouts. You guys have no timeouts. You can't come over here to the sideline. You got to come back out here and play, and that's what Westfall wanted to remind Daryl Garrettson. They tried to squeeze in a little strategy during the dead ball situation, but Kerr goes to the line. A.C. Green trying to talk him out of something. Yeah, it's still a close shave.
Kerr, an 82% free throw shooter, will get 2, and then the ball with 3 seconds to go. 89-87. Kerr with his 13th point. Nothing, I mean, it looked like a malicious foul, but that was just KJ trying to grab at something, and unfortunately, a tough tear down by the hip. So a 1-point game, 3 seconds left for Chicago. Kukoc comes way over to the near side. They balance outside the line with their three-point shooters. Got to get it in the air. Pippen is too long, and Phoenix manages an 89-88 win.
Sweet revenge for Phoenix as the sun finally sets on the Bulls. Now for a look at who else is on fire, and let's start with Detroit's main man of the moment, Joe Dumars.
The veteran guard took a page out of the microwaves book and scorched the New Jersey Nets for 42 points as he hit from all angles.
Screen from Mills and a great cut by Joe. D with a show and go, then the spin and the score. Wow. Joe D with a runner. Wow. Joe spotting up for three. And it's through.
Also breaking through was Piston rookie and first-round draft pick Allen Houston, who showed his teammates that he could do a little damage as well by lighting up the Bucks for a career-high 28 points.
Deep left wing, Allen Houston. Little show and go, now to the rim, running hook, and he hit it. Forecourt, left wing, Allen Houston. Pull up, gun, he got it from 19.
Towering above the rest is Washington's giant in the middle, George Murassan. Standing 7'7", the league's tallest player showed signs of promise as he torched the Knicks for a career-high 15 points and 7 rebounds.
George is open. They get it to him. Yes, he scores and a foul.
Murassan against Ewing. Yes.
Gugliotta's double team gets it to Murassan, who scores!
A real tall order for anyone to follow, including my main man, the conductor. But if there's a bigger star than Mr. Murassan, it's the man with the baton. So let's see if things are looking up in this week's encore.
Del Negro again to David Robinson.
This week they were really alley-ooping everywhere.
Alley-oop, traversed by Weber. Oh, what a thunder. Hardaway on a steal, shovels it.
The live and the dunk. Wow.
Well, as long as we're in a festive mood, let's dazzle them on defense and have a block party.
Scotty comes over, just flat erases it.
Spinning. Palmer with a great block.
Kukoc on the weave. Oh, good distance. Erased.
Keep your pencils handy.
Shot is swatted away by Sean Kemp.
Hungry for some more? Well, we got some sweet dishes in store that'll surely satisfy your basketball palate.
Oh, good
24-second went off, and Mashburn
finishes on the feed from Jackson.
Grant behind the back to Ellis. Sparks for Smith.
Kukoc down to Pippen. The trailer, Grant.
Jackson. Nice entry pass to Smith.
Hardaway. Oh, Avon. Snappy outlet of Smith.
Oh, that's a great pass.
What a great way for the Heat to start this game.
Okay, time to take care of a few odds and ends. Like, what is this guy trying to do? Take my job? No reason to lose your head, Clifford. Strange stuff seems to be happening all over the place. We gotta find out who's behind all this courtside craziness.
It slipped out of Robert's hands.
Our chief concern is that they start playing the right sport before the game goes to the dogs. Right, Scotty?
Scottie Pippen. Oh, and he couldn't finish that one.
Boy, that's tough to watch.
Stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute.
Happy feet, I've got those happy feet. Give them a low-down beat, and they begin dancing. 'Cause I've got happy feet. 'Cause we've got happy feet.
Welcome back. In a while, we'll be looking forward to this year's All-Star games, but before that, we're going to turn the clock back to look at one of the greatest players of all time, and certainly one of my favorites, Oscar Robertson.
Playing for the Cincinnati Royals and Milwaukee Bucks, he was the first guard who could truly dominate a game at both ends of the court.
Oscar had it all. He was about 6'5", go both ways. He had quickness when he needed it. He could shoot the eyes out of the ball. He could pass it. He could do anything. The advantages I had, as I said before, I played inside. I knew how to pivot. I knew how to protect the basketball. I played against bigger people. Naturally, you get against a smaller person inside, you have a definite advantage.
Oscar Robertson's resume includes a championship with the Milwaukee Bucks in 1971 and career averages of 26 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 7.5 assists. However, the Big O's most remarkable feat may have come in 1962 as a Cincinnati Royal, when amazingly, he averaged a triple-double for the entire season.
I've always said there's always someone out there who's make you play a little better, and I just didn't want to meet that person. I was just destined to do these things, and I don't know why I did them.
Some amazing feats from an amazing man. In this week's action reel coming up, though, we've got two teams who are trying to set some special records of their own.
We begin this week's action reel with the league's hottest team, the San Antonio Spurs. Despite a slow start, the Spurs have closed to within a game and a half of the Rockets. Last week, David Robinson and company beat the Lakers for their 9th straight home win.
J.R. Reed. Oh, too much, but Robinson was right there.
But it was Dale Ellis who led the way for San Antonio.
They back off Ellis. Big mistake. 32 points. A new season high by 4.
The Spurs then headed to Cleveland for the start of a 3-game Eastern swing. And Ellis continued his hot shooting, including hitting the game winner.
Dump inside, Ellis with a basket, and he was fouled. Oh, my. San Antonio loving this one.
You know, I'm not the main focus offensively. David is, and do my job just to put the ball in the basket. And again, it's going to take pressure off the inside guy.
Friday night, the Admiral cruised into Boston and hosted his very own garden party.
Robinson
with 34 points, most coming courtesy of Vinny Del Negro's season-high 12 assists.
There's the Admiral for 2 and a foul. And David is putting on a show.
I've got 4 people that will win the MVP. David Robinson would be 1. David Robinson would be 2. David Robinson would be 3. And I think the 4th guy would be David Robinson. Thank you.
Sunday night, the Spurs concluded their road trip by extending their winning streak to 7 straight, behind Robinson's 36 points and 12 boards.
Robinson with the follow.
Chuck Daly's Nets had no answer for the Admiral either, and the Spurs hung on in overtime.
Great job by Robinson. He has been on all night.
Meanwhile, the Indiana Pacers have drawn to within 2 games of 500, despite extended time on the injured list for Dale Davis and Pooh Richardson. Last week, Reggie Miller hit for 25 as the Pacers shot down the Bullets.
The other way on the drive, running Scoop is good, and he's fouled on the play. Pacers trying to run. 3 bullets hustle back to pass. Another jump pass to Kenny Williams. Pass to Mitchell. Baseline jump around and out.
That's how we came out with the win tonight. Everybody played hard and ran the offense like they're supposed to. And we came out with a win.
The Pacers continued their excellent play on the road in Charlotte against the injury-riddled Hornets. Rick Smits, Byron Scott, and Reggie Miller each scored over 20 points. And the Pacers set a team record by hitting over 60% of their field goals for the 3rd straight game.
Miller along the perimeter to the left side. Gets it low post to McKee. The blind pass, the flip to Miller, and he got reversed to the basket.
Back home against the Timberwolves, Smits continued to dominate in the low post, scoring a team-high 21 as Indiana blew out Minnesota.
Running on the left side to Byron, down to Smith, posting Longley, bounces once, twice, fakes left, spins right, lays it in.
You know, I'm trying to get some things close by the basket, and so it's that the guys been doing a good job getting me the ball, and I got to thank them.
Saturday night, the Hornets were looking to avoid their 6th straight loss. But Reggie Miller led 6 Pacers in double figures.
Here's Miller for 3.
And Indiana matched its longest winning streak in 3 years by taking their 5th straight.
Down the lane, and Kenny Williams with a stick back.
And Coach Larry Brown moved past Billy Cunningham with his 455th career win.
It's great, and guys have stepped up off the bench and really contributed.
Indiana keeping pace with the Spurs there. And David Robinson was obviously warming up for this year's All-Star game to be held at the Target Center in Minneapolis, home of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Robinson will be on the bench for the Western team as they take on their rivals from the Eastern Conference. And as you know, the fans vote for the top 5 players in each conference, and they will be starters. And there have been none more popular than the one and only Mr. Shaquille O'Neal.
The 7'1" second-year sensation has successfully avoided the sophomore jinx and was his conference's leading vote-getter when the polls closed. O'Neal will be joined by a pair of Chicago Bulls. Scottie Pippen's making his 4th appearance, while B.J. Armstrong makes his 1st.
Anything that you achieve individually is the result of what we achieve collectively, and that's my attitude.
Also making their 1st appearance are the Nets' Derek Coleman and Kenny Anderson.
To be there and starting in that position is great, and then to have, you know, my teammate on the team as well, you know, at least I know I get the ball a little bit.
I'll definitely be looking for big fella. I wasn't really focused on, I'm going to make the All-Star team, make the All-Star team. I just let my performance do the talking. I think, you know, that's one of the reasons I'm selected to the team.
Atlanta's Lenny Wilkins, who was an All-Star MVP in the '71 Classic, will be making his 4th coaching stint. Nearly 800,000 ballots were cast for fan favorite Charles Barkley, who was an MVP himself in 1991. Sir Charles was the leading vote-getter overall and has run his streak of All-Star games to 8 straight.
Takes it inside. Nice power move by Sir Charles.
Houston's Akeem Olajuwon's making his 9th annual trip.
Here comes Clyde. Yes!
Clyde the Glide Drexler will be joined in the backcourt by Sacramento's Mitch Richmond. Like Richmond, Seattle's Sean Kemp's been chosen for the starting lineup for the first time.
Get up for the downstroke. Oh-ho!
Kemp will recognize a familiar voice in the huddle. His coach, George Karl, will be at the helm for the West.
We'll be featuring the best of the East versus the best of the West in next week's show as George and his boys run up against that big problem from Orlando, the Shaq Man himself. Now let's catch up with the rest of the news from the NBA and near home with our stats wrap.
We start in the Pacific Division, where the Sonics travel to Milwaukee in search of their 3rd straight victory. George Karl and his troops have already amassed the 2nd-best record in the league and best record overall. Gary Payton looked to trigger the Sonics early, but Vin Baker put a quick end to that notion. Sam Perkins then blows a layup, but is rescued by Sean Kemp. Seattle displayed its forte, defense. Pierce steals, and Payton shows his flair, passing between the legs to Perkins. Seattle's team D paid dividends in the form of a cage corner jumper to go up by 10. Milwaukee got back on track behind something new. Rookie Vin Baker. He tracks down the miss and converts the slam. The Bucks then use something blue. Edwards with a drive and layup. But the hometown team was undone by something old. Turnovers. Seattle turned the steal into an easy layup and coasted to a 115-94 victory behind 18 points from Detlef Schrempf. In the Pacific, Seattle still has a comfortable lead over Phoenix. Portland's in 3rd, but only a half game ahead of Golden State. The Clippers and Lakers are also separated by a half game, while Sacramento remains in last, having lost 9 of its last 10. To the Midwest Division, San Antonio visited New Jersey to try and continue their winning ways. Chuck Daly and assistant Brendan Sir talked openly about former Piston Dennis Rodman's new fashion statement and how it might look on them. Possibly using Rodman's appearance as a distraction, Willie Anderson skates along the baseline for the Jazz. Kenny Anderson countered using his own dashing style, slicing between Spur defenders for 2. New Jersey out-hustled the Spurs on this play. Jason Williams dives to the floor and shoots the ball out to Kenny Anderson. Kenny patiently directs traffic and fires to fellow All-Star Derek Coleman for the 8-point lead. However, the Spurs possess their own All-Star. Having an MVP year, the Admiral retaliates for San Antonio. Then it was showtime in New Jersey. Anderson to Coleman. Derek behind the back to Edwards. Kevin misses the J, but there for the follow was Morris. San Antonio followed its navigator, who brought the team back to force overtime. In OT, the Admiral steered a pass out to sharpshooter Ellis for 3. And Vinny Del Negro threads to Anderson, ensuring the 104-102 win and San Antonio's 7th straight victory. The Spurs have surged to within 1.5 games of first place in the Midwest. Utah's only 4.5 back in 3rd. Denver's in 4th in the division, followed by Minnesota and lowly Dallas. Now on to the Central. Before their game in Phoenix, the Bulls had a nail-biter against the Warriors of Golden State. Tim Hardaway caught the hometown action while doing a little babysitting. Rookie Chris Webber showed his brash ways to jumpstart the home team. But two things win championships: teamwork and defense. First, P.J. Armstrong finished the textbook Chicago break. Then Scottie Pippen denied Latrell Sprewell. The resilient Warriors fought back and went up by 5 on Mitch Jennings' halftime buzzer beater, and carried the momentum into the second half behind Webber. Unperturbed, the tempered champions rallied back. First, Scottie Pippen hits the nifty finger roll. Then a tip pass by Horace and a steal by Steve Kerr lead to a storybook ending for Grant. Finally, newcomer Tony Kukoc continues to diversify Chicago's attack. He hustles and outreaches the Warriors, tipping to Scottie Pippen. The Bulls close out the tight affair 101-99. Chicago and Atlanta are in a dogfight for first place in the Central. Cleveland's a game above 500 in third place. Charlotte's lost 5 in a row and dropped to 4th. Indiana's won 5 straight while the Bucks and Pistons round out the division. Finally to the Atlantic. The Orlando Magic and rookie sensation Anthony Hardaway travel to New York to meet the divisional leaders. Nick Anderson's steal and slam got the Magic pumped up early. Shaq fed off the energy with this block on Starks. But the defending divisional champ showed grit. Anthony up to Charles Smith, who hits the layup. Patrick then follows the Nick miss to give the seasoned New Yorkers the lead. Anthony triggered a second-half Orlando run. First, the over-the-shoulder pass to Avan. Then, he sets up Shaq for the alley-oop. Shaquille slams to put Orlando up by 5 in the Garden. But again, New York forges back, this time behind its 2 All-Star participants. John Starks hits the three-pointer. And Patrick Ewing nails the baseline jumper to defy the Magic in New York, 95-77. The Knicks improved to 33-12, while Orlando dropped 7.5 back. The Heat are even at 500, and the Nets are in 4th. Boston's in 5th, a half game up on Philadelphia, and Washington's in last place.
Back home, Manchester have lost both coach Jeff Jones and their top-of-table clash with the Worthing Bears. No such drama at the bottom as Oldham failed to halt their losing streak, going down to Chester by 103-70. That's the stats. Now back to the action. It's time for the top 10 plays of the week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown.
We tip things off with some magic, Orlando style.
3-on-1 behind the back for Royal. Turning it around his waist to hit Donald Royal.
Whoa! This Washington bullet's more like a bazooka.
Andrew driving. Whoa! Oh, my!
At number 8, it looks like this guy's gearing up for the Gatorade Slam Dunk Contest.
Robert Pack goes inside and explodes. That's a 49.9 right there.
Ooh, and at number 7, Philadelphia's hotshot Dana Barros puts the Heat on ice.
Barros for the win. Yes! Dana Barros with a second to go on the clock puts the Sixers up 96-94.
Ready or not, here comes the Houston Rockets.
Quickly to Otis Thorpe. Nice pass. Ellie gives it back to Bullard. Oh, a beautiful Houston Rockets fast break.
Yeah, but Philly's got a phenomenal fast break of their own, and look who's finishing.
Bradley on the reverse.
I'll tell you what, that was a heck of an athletic play by Sean Bradley.
At number 4, guess who's soaring into the countdown again?
Sean Kemp. Now you know what Sean Kemp is all about.
This buck has come to save the day.
Inbounds pass today. He catches it, shoots it from half court. It's good, and it counts.
At number 2, hey, Denver's Mark Randall. Next time, you gotta call this one.
Let's let him shoot a running bank hook shot like this. Mark Randall, the impossible shot. And he will make the highlight films all over the country.
And for our number 1 play of the week, the Knicks' John Starks scores a perfect 10 on this stylish drive.
Starks, wild shot. John Starks with an over-the-head reverse.
That's almost it, but if you want to keep up with the news, notes, and quotes of the NBA, you can do so by calling our hotline. The NBA Update gives you all the scores, the highlights, match reports, and inside news. Just ring 0891 444244. Calls are charged at 36 pence per minute cheap rate and 48 pence per minute at all other times. That number again, 0891 444244. The buzzer is about to signal time for this week's show, so Mr. Bird is saying NBA is the word. Until next week, you know the deal. Keep jamming.